Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor, and I'm emotional. I'm confused. I'm frustrated. We've been live for 5 hours now. I'm so grateful Steph's here to join me through this because we just got the news. I have posted the news. We posted the original clip where we found the body, it's seemingly, and now we've just posted the other video separately of the FBI press conference, and as well as Detective Hubbard to give you their insight there. We did a whole long 5-hour stream of all of this. You can watch our whole reaction. It was a very anxious time, and I'm going to clip this portion near the end just so you can get our summary of things, because I feel like I want to get something out that's gnawing at me, and I don't know if it's very popular, but I think it's needed to be said. Look, I'm not a fan of the Laundries. I don't like what they did to the Petitos. I don't like their silence. Maybe it was the lawyer's fault. Maybe it was their fault. I don't like the way they went about this. I think it was wrong. I think that their lack of showing emotion made us all triggered in a way. And I really am upset in the way they handled it, because I think had they just screamed from the rooftops this from the beginning, which they kind of did, but didn't enough, it would have been a lot more helpful. In hindsight, what can we do? That said, it seems, based on the FBI press conference and everything, that they did indeed lose their son today. And while this son isn't very popular to a lot of us, it's still someone's kid. And as a parent, I can't sit here and just start bashing the Laundries all day. I have to show some compassion, and I hope you guys will too. I think it's important that, yes, you can be angry. My feelings are you can be angry at them, but you can still show empathy and compassion for these people. And right now, they're in immense pain. And as I've said in the stream, Steph, before, they've been in pain through a lot of this, because this is not an easy thing to be under the microscope with the media in front, stalking you at Walmart and everything else. The reality is, guys, it's the truth. Do I think they've done a lot of it to themselves? Yes, I do. I do think they could have navigated this much better, and they should have navigated this better, and I think their lawyer was awful. But at the end of the day, right now, I think is a day we do have to try to show some compassion to these Laundries for losing Brian, it seems. Now, the FBI has come out and said this, that they found a body next to his items. And now the Laundrie's attorneys have said Chris and Roberta were at the reserve earlier today when human remains and some of Brian's possessions were located in an area where they had initially advised law enforcement that Brian may be. Chris and Roberta will wait for the forensic identification of the human remains before making any additional comments. So at the end of the day, as we talked with the detective, which you can see there, nobody's really confirmed this is Brian. However, they're leaning very heavily into assuming this is Brian. What's very interesting is even this statement is sort of saying they weren't even able to identify him. John Hubbard, our detective, is like, they know. But is it really that mangled by animals, and it was apparently found underwater? Is it really that mangled that we can't actually tell at this point? There's so much we're gathering right now that I think through all our frustration, all I ask that we all do, if you can do it, is show some compassion today. There's no need for protesters to be out there, and I'm sure they're gathering. I'm looking at you, Riches, and your lady. Shut up for a day. Take a moment off. Let them process this. Let's get to the bottom of it, and let's get our questions answered civilly and compassionately right now. Because at the end of the day, it looks like there will be justice, just not the kind of justice you want, but if Brian Laundrie took his life or lost his life, that for some, that's going to be justice. Now, for me, it's not really. I wanted him to go to jail. I wanted to make sure we knew he did it. I wanted to make sure we knew why or what happened. But sadly, we don't always get what we want, and this is why it's going to be very frustrating for a lot of us. But all I wanted to get out there as we recap what happened today is that it seems he was in the reserve the whole time, right where the Mustang was, Steph. It's maddening to me, and my anger right now isn't at the Laundries. It's not even at Brian right now. All my anger is being funneled at the Northport police. I got to be honest. I don't understand why we weren't there sooner, why we weren't checking that area. Now, the lawyer is clearly trying to save face. There's a lot of, as we've learned, the parents aren't off the hook yet. There's still civil cases and a lot of other stuff that can put them against the wall and cause them a lot of frustration, money, etc. There could be justice in those ways. And so when I read this objectively, trying to even through my emotion, looking at this, even they're saying it located where they had initially advised law enforcement that he may be. They're trying to say, told you so. And what's really frustrating to me, Steph and Chad, is I'm so distraught from, granted, I streamed for 5 hours, so I'm not being as rational. I want to sleep on it and connect again with you guys tomorrow. I think we all need to. I just can't tell anymore right now. Is this honest or not? Do you know what I mean? Did they really tell the authorities a specific area and they didn't even really check it that well? And imagine if that's true, Steph. That's infuriating. Or are they trying to save face? And yeah, see, we told you so. You knew it, as sort of a way to justify their own defense in advance. Because again, we're not fans of the way their lawyer and they have handled the situation from the beginning. So, Steph, I want to go to you and your thoughts on that. I mean, like, I know I assume I know where you stand, knowing how frustrated you've been with these Laundries. But do you feel my confusion too? Like, do you believe that they knew and they're like, we told you. We went as soon as we got the opportunity. We went where we thought he was, and he was friggin' there. Why on earth didn't you check that area deeper?
I'm not confused. I don't trust a word that comes out of Stephen Bertolino's mouth. He states that they initially advised law enforcement of where Brian may be, but right at the beginning turns around and says, we ain't helping him. We ain't helping law enforcement. We ain't going to help him find Brian. We ain't going to help him find Gabby. You're on your own. So they either helped him or not. So there's contradicting statements there as far as I'm concerned. So this, until they provide proof that they did initially advise law enforcement of where Brian may be around this area that they're looking at now, he can go do one. In regards to, feeling sorry for the Laundries, to a certain extent, I see where you're coming from. If it is Brian, it's unconfirmed, but if it is, because it's strongly suggested, then yes, there is an element of, okay, my condolences, you've lost your son. Okay. However, the parents are their own worst enemy, right? Because they could have helped more right at the beginning to potentially avoid this from happening in the first place. To avoid finding, let's say, quote unquote, Brian being in his demise in this area that we focus on now in the reserve. The parents had helped, maybe it wouldn't have turned out this way. But they didn't. So for me, do I feel sorry for them? Of course, to a certain extent, the parents have lost their son, allegedly. My condolences. However, the way they've conducted themselves and the way they have not helped law enforcement, they are so much to blame in terms of how all this has turned out. So, yeah, I hope that the Petito family are strong enough to drag them through, I think it was civil court you guys
Civil,
have.
Yep.
Yeah. And get justice that way. Because, yeah, I see through their crocodile tears, let's put it that way.
Well, I do like you said something I wish I had said, and you're right. I don't believe a word Stephen Bertolino says. That's valid. You're right. At the same time, though, the idea of this, there's either a truth or a not, right? Did they tell the authorities this area before, and did the authorities check it? That's what I want to know more than anything right now, just because I'm like, whose fault was this? Now, like I said, you're right. And Stephen Bertolino, we've had both the detective and Christopher Melcher, our lawyer, tell us Stephen Bertolino's allowed to lie to you guys. He's literally allowed to go out and say whatever the hell he wants. It doesn't have to be true. So Steph is completely right, and I'm glad you said that because I'm it's been a long stream. I don't want to miss that. Remember that. Whatever Stephen Bertolino is telling you is their defense and doesn't mean it's true. So take that as you will. So this statement is just very interesting. And so, again, not confirming anything. Like, neither the FBI nor their own lawyer and the parents are admitting that, yeah, it's Brian. So, again, speculation time. We don't know what's going on, and I hate to do it, but what kind of remains were found? How bad were these remains, Steph? Were there self-inflicted wounds before said remains? Being in Florida and knowing how Florida works, there's a lot of ways this could have gone down. He could have literally injured himself and then gotten eaten by an alligator. He could have drowned, then gotten eaten by an alligator. He could have offed himself and that gotten eaten by an alligator. There's a lot of potential ways that this could have gone if it's indeed him, which, look, I'm going to say I think it's him. I do think it's him based on everything we're seeing there. I'm not buying any conspiracies. I don't know if you are, Steph. I see some of them already brewing in the chat. It's not him. No way. They put another bot. I'm not buying that. Sorry. That's just me. I need to see some serious evidence to even consider going down that road. But from everything we're seeing here, yeah, I think it was him. I don't think they would have done all this. I think now, why did they miss this area is to me where it's really frustrating. And then we're going to still have a lot of questions of why didn't they call the Petitos then? If they are going to play this excuse of, we didn't know, they had a fight, we were just trying to distract them, we thought Gabby was okay. When the Petitos were calling saying, we don't know where you are, that I understand why we're angry at that. I share it. All of that said, today's a day where I don't want to yell about the Laundries. We'll have more time to do that in the future. I'm sure there's going to be cases where they're going to continue more will come out. And we'll get more insight of what actually happened. But today, I don't want to hate on the Laundries. The Petitos, I'm sure, are still angry. I don't know what they're thinking, but I want justice for them. I don't know if this is justice they wanted, Steph. I don't know what kind of he wanted vengeance. I remember one of the parents was on a 60 Minutes Australian. It was like, I want vengeance. And then the was like, well, and justice. And he's like, yeah, he wants vengeance. You know what I mean? So for some people, getting eaten by a crocodile is vengeance, right? We'll see. Unless he offed himself and then there's a million ways as to what that vengeance is for each one of you. All I say is right now, even no matter what they knew, I hope we can show some empathy right now and just take a day or two off to let the Laundries process this loss, because I don't believe they knew. Did you think they knew he was dead, Steph?
I think they knew where he was. However, do I believe that they knew he was dead? No. It would be way, way, way beyond the pale that they could carry on as normal, go out and do the lawn like Chris did the other night, go out and do groceries and errands and all that lot, knowing in the back of your mind that the whole world is looking for Brian Laundrie, but you know that he's actually dead, your son. Like, no, I can't fathom that. So rationally in my head, I think they knew he was in the reserve. I think they knew the area of the reserve that he would have been in, but thought that he would still have been alive. Because, I mean, let's put it this way. Wasn't it that he'd been on the Appalachian Trail for like 2 or 3 months on his own, living out there on his own, and being able to fend for himself? So it would equally stand to reason that they would safely believe that going to this Florida reserve, he'd be absolutely fine. Because he's done the Appalachian Trail, so he'll be okay there. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I'm kind of like, yes and no. They knew the area he was in the reserve, but fully were under the belief that he was still alive.
I mean, to me, it's like, what was the other thing that was so telling as we sort of do, and we're going to have to download and remember everything, but like, even when Cassie came out, Cassie was like, I don't know if they covered it up. I don't know if he killed him. Like, that was so telling to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, what sister just goes and does that out of anger? Again, there was so much of that just opened up these reasons where like there were people throwing people under the bus. And so to me, the biggest question is, did they know what happened to Gabby? And to me, it's like, how could you not have known something happened to Gabby? Because even if you're not knowing that he strangled her, like, you still know you left her stranded in the road somewhere after a fight and brought the van home and you're out of it. Like, you knew something was up and you went to protect your own kid. So look, that choice they made, right? It's a human choice. They made it. It is what it is. But that's why I think a lot of us have justifiable anger. Even though I have empathy and compassion for them today, I'm still going to be angry at them at a certain point because, like John Hubbard said, our detective, on a lot of this could have been prevented, and we could have, all resources would have been prevented. A lot of stuff could have been prevented if they didn't just go silent. And I think that's the biggest thing you can say. I hope people learn from this. Silence just screams guilt all the time. Like, lawyers are always going to request it, but find ways to be able to get the truth out while being silent, or, showing some emotion. Like, even Christopher Melcher had said, our lawyer who calls in, he's like, yeah, they could have at least said something that was, nice to Gabby without, giving something that they're not allowed to say. Now, to his credit, he also said, doesn't mean anyone's going to believe it. However, if they'd done it earlier and often, I think this would have been a different story. You know what I mean? So there's so much to learn from this, and there's so much frustration and so much anger still. At the end of the day, I'm just sad because we don't get as many answers as we wanted if this is indeed Brian. I'm going to ask some polls. I'm curious what you guys think as well, but I believe it's Brian, and I think we're going to figure out more information as to how, because I'm sure the FBI is probably relieved in a way, Steph, you know what I mean? Because it can be over to that extent, and now they can actually know, okay, here's what we can do moving forward. And I'm sure the Petitos and their lawyer now are going to start having conversations about, and I'm sure they've already started those conversations. What if he's dead? What do we do? All that stuff will now be the next portion of the chapters of this story, that it's not ending, even though this body could be him. I see a lot of people in the chat talking about the notebook. I mean, man, who knows what's in that notebook? If I don't know if you can bring it back to life, if the whole pages are all underwater. Sometimes you can figure that out through forensic if you dry it, but usually when you dry it, they bleed together. Who knows? Who knows? He seems like the type that would leave a note, though, Steph, if it was suicidal. Don't you agree? Given all his readings and things, I would not have been surprised if he offed himself to have left some sort of note. But I don't know. Final speculation as to what your thoughts on this or what he might have done?
Well, I've always said that I don't think that he would end himself because he's too narcissistic to do so. So until we know the cause of demise, I couldn't really speculate, because maybe I am wrong. Maybe he did have it in him to end his own situation. Would he have left something in the book or not? Can either look at it one or two ways. Either he did because he's so full of himself and, he wanted to explain his side of the story and get infamy that way. Or he didn't leave anything in the notebook, because then he has the ultimate control of the world not fully knowing the truth. Only he knew the truth. And it was his last act of total control to literally take that away from the world, that they would never be able to get that truth of really what happened. And that's his final act of control, by taking that away, that opportunity for the world to know the truth, for the Petitos to know the truth, away. So could go one or two ways based on my kind of rationale that way, mate. Who knows? Who knows now?
Well, I do want to say, look, I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, and this guy, Jonathan Riches, who I've tried to give the benefit of the doubt, is proving his true colors. This is sickening to me.
Cause this mess.
Bloody hell.
Sickening
Your
me
son
right now.
Brian is burning in hell.
I mean,
Your son Brian is burning in hell right now, Laundrie family.
you guys are scumbags.
He's burning in hell.
No way.
Brian Laundrie
if I
is
do
burning
go-
in hell right now.
No.
And
If I
you're
go there, I
going
will-
next.
Stop that,
You're
please.
going next.
Stop it. I don't want to. No.
This is what I'm talking about. We have to show more compassion. Like, this scumbag, I'm sorry, that's why you turn off your replies. Oh, I'm changed. Dude, you're being a scumbag right now. Aren't you? He seems like he's a religious guy. Like, you show no compassion or redemption or anything. Like, I'm just confused. Forgiveness is the key, brother. Like, you are not helping anybody right now. I don't believe anybody thinks you're helping. You and your wife, who constantly just keep showing up to scream obscenities. There was earlier today, Steph, they were out there. It was so frustrating to watch these people. I can't stand this couple. I'm over them. I don't want to promote them. I don't want. I was attempting to try and give them the benefit of the doubt at times, because I try to be kind to people and give everyone a shot. But these guys are deplorable to me. It's sickening what they did, and this was the thing that was so frustrating. Peacefully protesting is what they call. He came out. They got Christopher Laundrie.
So we're torturing you as protesters, right? We're the ones that are torturing you. We're the ones that are torturing you. No worry about Gabby Petito, right? You didn't give a shit about Gabby Petito's family. You didn't care about answering the phone to them. But we're torturing you. We're torturing you. We're torturing you, right?
Dude, he's talking to her. I think he's saying, who said that? Who said that? We have literally Christopher Laundrie finally talking, and this woman won't shut her damn mouth and listen because she's just got to scream for Facebook or whatever the hell she's doing it for.
So, your attorney said that the protesters are torturing you. Your attorney said that this stuff.
What's really telling is if he's talking to her, he's opening up. Wouldn't it have been so much more telling that she actually got an interview with him and he was surprised that his lawyer said that? My God, imagine if we had actually had that as our news story. But no, it's you suck. We're screaming at you because we are idiots. Blah 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 blah. They can't listen. They don't listen. I'm so sick of them. They are not protesters. They are harassers. They're terrible people at this point. They've proven and true colors always show, and your true colors are showing. You're scumbags. You've gotten some attention. I hope some people I hope they turn on you because what you're doing right now is awful. They don't need to be hearing we're burning in hell outside their house right now. This is not helpful to anybody except for your own attention, egomaniac, whatever. Steph, I can't stand this shit. So I will not endorse. I kind of want to go to Northport just to yell at them. I'd rather do a bit where I yell at the protesters. We're yelling at the Laundries at some point because I can't stand it. It's not right what they're doing. And right now, after they've lost a child, no matter how much we're frustrated, we have to be better than this. This is disgusting, Jonathan. And for someone who says they've changed, they're better.
Shame. You got blood on your hands, Laundrie.
Even if you feel it or think it, now is not the time, Steph. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, you can't. I'm torn on this because in one way I kind of understand why they are doing this in front of the Laundrie's home because allegedly, so we don't get done, Brian Laundrie is a murderer of Gabby Petito. So to have this situation where because I believe it too. They found Brian's remains. It's like, yeah, rot in hell, scumbag. Do you know? Rot in hell for the rest of your life. There's a lot of deep-seated anger that needs to come out. However, this ain't the way to let your anger out. You know? There are more constructive, better ways to do so. I feel that those protesters are just there for clout.
Correct.
There for the views. There for the shock value. Like, their murderous son, allegedly, is now dead. And it's like, how do these people think? Their first port of call, their first thought, their first great idea ever is, after that, is, okay, we're going to go back to Laundrie's house and we're going to scream bloody murder at them and say, your son's going to rot in hell, and shouting all these obscenities at them. For what? What's that going to achieve? Absolutely nothing other than views on their social media, their YouTube channel.
Yeah, it should be said.
Value, blah, blah, blah.
These aren't just like neighbors or random people who are upset because of the news today. These are people who are there every single morning to scream at them. Every single morning. And it's the same two people. They're always there. They're a couple. They do this as sort of their shtick. And I'm sorry, no one else has joined. It's just these, and they're on social media often trying to rehabilitate their image. And at a certain point, it's too far. This woman actually does join in too, but it's too much. And do I believe they think this? Sure, but this isn't helpful. It's not helpful. You screaming right now while they just lost their son. It's not helping anybody. I understand the anger. I'm sure a lot of people are feeling what they're saying out loud. You know what I mean, Steph? But my God, people, we got to be better than this. This is not how you do it. This is not a civil society or, they made mistakes. Yeah, the parents definitely made mistakes. I blame Brian more because allegedly, if he did it, right, I'm going to always blame him more than even the parents. At the end of the day, they just lost the son who did it. That is one form of justice to a lot of people. This is not the way. We got to be better than this. I can't stand this. Every time I see it, it just makes my blood boil. Because, yeah, I'm angry too, guys, but I'm not going to go scream at their house and say, you're going to hell. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous what they're doing right now. And we're all processing this, and I understand people are processing it differently, but I can't stand this shit. I can't stand this shit. So, yeah, there's not any other news. Like they said, this could take weeks. It's not going to happen right away. As Brian, I think Brian even put this out on Twitter. I don't even want to promote this guy anymore. I'm so sick of it. Let's put Brian Enton back on because he's more helpful. as Brian's summed it up pretty well, the FBI investigators found human remains and a backpack and other items belonging to Brian, including a notebook. FBI did not confirm the remains or Laundrie. Says they will be here for days. So I guess they didn't say. They did say. I thought human. Yeah, they said human remains. Excuse me. But everything they sort of didn't say. Our detective, our panel, we all took this as this is Brian. Now, we shall see. I feel like, Steph, if they weren't sure, they wouldn't have held that press conference. Do you know what I mean? Like, if there wasn't more certainty for them in their experience of what they do, we can call them crazy all you want, the FBI, or lazy, or whatever you want to call them. There's a lot of pressure on these guys right now. And for all of them to unite, make a press statement, but do what they did, I feel like they have to be pretty confident that, yeah, this is probably Brian. However, let's be careful. We still have a lot of checks to do to make sure. I mean, John called it that medical examiner would not have driven up from Sarasota and showed up without a body. So clearly, that's what happened here. But yeah, Steph, do you concur, or are you supporting any of this sort of conversation that maybe it isn't Brian still? He could still be out there on the run, living in the Appalachian Trail.
Well, it's certainly a possibility until we get confirmation, of course. However, the probability and the circumstantial evidence that we've got going on at the moment certainly point to Brian's being found, eaten by alligators, death by alligator, potentially, or whatever has happened in the reserve where he's now being described as body remains. So, yeah, that's that.
Real quick, Sharon Whittlemore, Andy, I'm with you on this one. They lost their son and also have to live with the fact that he was a murderer. Enough already. I mean, that's what I think. Guys, they're going to pay in ways you're not even realizing. As someone who's been through the run of the media just crucifying you and canceling you, not to the level, they've even been way worse than me. But my point is, I've lived it to enough to know it's not pretty for anybody. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. They are going through a lot. While that quote earlier from the lawyer was like, they're being tortured, I think was the quote. There was a quote earlier. We were going to talk about this earlier. Brian Laundrie's parents are being tortured in their own home by protesters. As frustrating as this is, it's true. However, you haven't helped your cause. You understand why people hate you, right? Laundries, I don't think they do. And if you're frustrated, you should be frustrated at your lawyer because your lawyer dug you into a hole that you now can't get out of. And why everyone's pissed at you because you didn't call the Petitos back. A lot of things. You called your friend Steve Bertolino, allegedly, it seems. You called him first, and I think that was your doing in because that was not the right thing to do. You don't call the lawyer before the parents, especially if he didn't do it. If he didn't do it and you feel confident your son didn't do it, that's why you call the family friends of the woman, of the daughter that's living in your house. It's sickening to me. So again, I don't want to unleash on them. And I know if I take calls, we'll get honest about it again later. But today I got to show some compassion because I do think the truth is this quote is not off. This is not wrong. They are being tortured. Now, right or wrong, I just want you guys to be aware and know, guys. As Sharon even just said, they're going through a lot right now. They are paying the price. I don't want them to off themselves either. That's not what we want from people. We got to figure out ways to get through all this. So be aware, show some empathy today if you can. That's all I ask. Thank you for the chat, Sharon. Lauren sells. The bag he carried was a dry bag, hoping the notebook was in there. We used them for phones and keys while paddleboarding. Well said. It could have been. We had a picture of that earlier. I've lost it, but there was a bag that came out. I think it's here. It's the next one, I think. Here it was. There's the bag. You're right. That is a dry. I thought this was part of the backpack, but yeah, this could be a wet bag as well. I thought that was them wrapping up part of a backpack, but you're right. I think this is the wet bag, so there's something in there. It's not the strap. You're right. That's a wet bag because that way you tie it up and then you connect it at the edge. So there could be a journal. There could be something in there. We don't know. Speculating. But thank you, Lorena, Tanika, Scott. Thank you for becoming a member. Thank you for all of everyone who stuck around this far and you're still trucking with us. My goodness. Whoo! You're keeping me going. So this is, again, for everybody who's like, Andy, you'd seem out. It's because we just streamed we're pushing 6 hours, and this was a heavy one, guys. This was a heavy one. So thanks to all of you stuck through it and supported the stream, and it kept us going. It kept me going. You guys are incredible. We're not done. We're going to keep reporting on this for you, and I feel like I have to stay here to react with you guys because I know we're all feeling it. So thank you to people who sent over your comments. If you want to get a last word in, now's your chance. Use the pinned comment. Could it be possible that the Laundries were on the outs with the Petitos before all this happened? Remember, Gabby's mom said they were not engaged anymore. Perhaps the families were arguing, and the Petitos didn't want to mention this at that point. Sophie, I don't know. Speculation, but, a lot of in-laws don't just talk all the time. They were in New York, right? So one of them was Florida. Who knows? Who knows? I don't think they were that close. I mean, judging by that alleged friend of Roberta's, Gabby and Roberta weren't that close. So who knows? We've all had in-laws, some of them good, some of them bad. It's hard to tell. Pamela Bruns, thank you, Andy, for your amazing human being. Keep up the great work. Really appreciate your humility for everybody. Thanks for everything you're doing. Well, thank you, Pamela. I really appreciate that. Charlotte Barros, thank you. And Kelly Hoyle, thank you so much for becoming a Planeteer. Lizzie, I hope it's not him. Gabby family needs answers, but I know it points to him, and it's disappointing for Gabby's family. I hear you, Lizzie. Ian Thomas, appreciate your humanity. Thank you, Ian. I appreciate you and your views and your watching with us. Pocket of Change XD, the wife of a minor. I've said this from the beginning. I don't condone the silence, but both sides lost their child and their lives have been turned upside down completely. Facts. We got to remember that at the end of the day. Again, we can be angry and still show compassion. Don Quinones, maybe you can release the butterflies at the Petito's house in honor of Gabby. We'll find good use of butterflies because we bought them. I think. I don't know if I can get us refunded. If I can't, we'll find a good use for those butterflies. Or yes, if I can get refunded, we'll put the uses to our charity stream Thursday at noon. I hope you guys will join us for our charity stream. Mods, if you still have that link, go hit the remind me on that link and join us. We'll have some special guests and we'll be doing a lot of good, important work. So I hope you guys will be there. Sarah Duffel, thank you so much, Sarah, for becoming a member. Pamela Bruns, oh man, thank you for all the chats. I think the parents did not help him, but I think they didn't want to help the police because Wyoming is a death penalty state. Maybe that could be one of the reasons why they wanted to be quiet. Maybe the lawyer told them that. We never know what's actually been told. Andrea Monger, thank you so much. Randall Brander, remember, a lot of this area was underwater. True. But John said those dogs can still, they can still find ways to get in there. But yeah, maybe he drowned himself. Who knows? Miss Molly, Australia, thank you so much, Miss Molly. Rachel Lewis, yes, but if they are innocent and didn't do anything wrong, why didn't they say that? It's still too suspicious. That's the problem, Rachel, and I blame their lawyer. If they're innocent and did nothing wrong and didn't know, their lawyer completely effed them, and now they're forever going to be thought as innocent. I mean, as guilty. And by them being silent to Petitos, at the end of the day, that's what did them in. And that could have been out of fear with their lawyer. It could have been a lot of reasons. But when the parents were pleading, they should have been there to help. And they weren't. What is that there? Yes. Maximilian, Brian N. tweeted out the quote from the lawyer. Thank you. We did just get to that. Ashley Hughes. Thank you, Ashley Bolinder. Mercy, the butterflies can still honor Gabby. Oh, they will. Don't you worry. We're going to honor Gabby. I want to do a whole Gabby Petito fundraiser at some point. We will do it. Don't you worry. We'll find a way to do it. Songbird, I agree. Something at the Laundrie home tomorrow is not acceptable. I agree. Appearing at the Laundrie home tomorrow is not acceptable. The parents are going to have liability in the situation, but the fact they lost their son deserves some respect. Well said. I'm not doing it. Before you even guys said it, I told you I'm not doing it, but I wanted to make sure you guys were aware. Pocket Change, thank you always for doing the live streams. It's a lot of work. I appreciate you noticing throughout. Thoroughly appreciate all the coverage and look forward to seeing you cover more cases. Christina, you bet you will. The Mohab couple needs more attention. Steph's been going deep into that. We're going to bring that to you. I know some of other channels have covered it, but we're going to get into depth in that one as well to make sure we have that covered. Heidi S. No, Andy, don't go. You're better than that. Circumstances are changing. Well said. Noted. That's why I brought it up to you guys. I didn't want some of you to be disappointed. I'm glad to see that you are all rational, nice people who realize it's not a good time to go right now. Pamela Bruns, no, you're better than that. They were wrong. They didn't kill her. They are grieving now. Facts. Jake Rowan. What's up, Scottish Jake? Steph and Andy, tough day. Get some deserved rest. Oh, I plan to. And then G, thank you so much. And then Darling Dame, I think we started with you, and I got through everybody. So thank you guys for bearing with me. Martin Farrer, Jonathan Lee Riches is a dedicated troll. Repeated attempts to fool the media into believing he is involved in national tragedies. Yeah, if you Google him, there's a lot of mean things. But he's been out there like, don't believe what you read. I'm a recovering addict. No, dude, you're a scumbag. Sorry. You keep proving it over and over again. And right now screaming you're going to hell outside the day they lost their son. That's an awful look. You're doing it about you. You're not doing it for them or anybody else. Rachel Pennell released the butterflies at the DV fundraiser. Maybe. Steph, we can talk about it. Let's figure it out. Joshua Middleton, awesome job, Andy and Steph. Thank you, Joshua. V. Sorrows, been here since noon. My God, V, throw a muscle emoji or just say it in the caps. Who's been here with me since noon? It's at least 1,000 or 2,000 of you. I want to see it in the chat so we can all applaud together. Who's made it through this whole? Has it been 6 hours? Holy shit! It's about to be 6 hours. It's a record for me. And then David Bisco, epic stream, Andy, under difficult circumstances. Great panel all day. Keeping it real and honest will bring you huge success. Much respect from the UK. From the UK, Steph. David Bisco.
UK represent, yes.
Justin Otherin. Everyone was talking about Fight Club, but the movie they should be watching is Wild Things. Yeah, that's in Florida, right? There's some stuff in that. Sharon Whittemore, I'm with you on this. They lost their son and have to live with that enough already. There we go. We got it. Now I'm caught back up. So thank you, everybody who supported. I feel like we made. Look at all these. Look at them all. Thumbs up. Woo! Look at everybody who stuck with me through noon. You guys are incredible. I agree with you. I can't even read them all. I wish I could. I'll try and go back. Yeah, got it. Some well said. I'm scrolling through, but my goodness. Yeah, a lot of people. Thank you to those who are also showing compassion. I'm glad you guys, and thanks to everybody who was here through noon. My goodness, you guys are incredible. Hopefully some of you hit that join button to really join this community since you've been here that long. Stick around. Make sure you get the alerts so we can do more of this together. In fact, as I go, before we go, Steph, let's remind everybody again, we have a very, very important stream coming in next week. It's going to be to raise awareness for DV Awareness Month. And I'd love if you guys will come and join us. Steph, anything else you want to add about that? Here, I got it up while you're talking.
Yeah, so for me in particular, I'm reaching out to the community now that it's been announced. If you can email me, stephthealternerd@gmail.com. I want to hear from DV survivors who have gone to shelters or got help from anywhere else, friends, family, to get out of their DV situation. So if you have a story of essentially survival and victory, then please reach out to me, because for me, I want this charity stream also to be a celebration of our strength, that, you know, it's not, it doesn't have to be forever if you're in that situation. There is a way out. And, you know, look at all these amazing examples of people who were in your situation but got the help that they needed, either through a shelter, a charity, friend, family member, whoever, and they got out. So for me, I want this charity to help people who are in that situation, but also be an inspiration to those people that they can get out. It's so easy to do so, really, in the grand scheme of things. You're just one phone call away from freedom, pretty much, guys. So yeah, reach out to me, stephthealternerd@gmail.com, with your stories, and the ones that really jump out to me, I will respond, and we'll see what we can do.
And we'll be raising it for Sunrise of Pasco County. It's a really good shelter here that was very important, does a lot of work locally by me. I wanted to do something for someone local here in Tampa because obviously this case has affected Florida. We will be. I want to do a fundraiser for Gabby later, probably November, December. We'll plan another one. But right now, for that foundation, you guys can still donate. We'll let you guys know about that foundation too. But for DV Awareness Month, I wanted to find a DV charity, and we'll be talking about that, what to look for. I'm so excited to celebrate with you guys and educate, learn. Lots coming, so make sure you join us on Thursday of next week as we do that. I'm proud of you guys and everybody who's been brave and stood up and reaches out to Steph. And Steph, my God, you know how much I appreciate you. So lots coming. Really appreciate it. Show Me the Science. Thank you so much. Here's some beer money. Oh, well, thank you. Channel. It all goes to the channel, supporting the gear and everything we got. Gear money is more likely than beer money. Urban Fox, thank you so much as well as we wind things down. I want to make sure I'm just going around to make sure we didn't miss anything else. But I think, yeah, even there, looks like WFLA is winding down too. So it looks like the news is done for the day, guys. We've covered it. We've been there. We've done it. Oh my goodness, look at Suzanne sitting at the end. You are an amazing Super Chat sticker. Thank you guys for your final tips and things. This was a power stream. I'm so grateful to all you guys who donated and helped support what we're doing. It just breaks the stigma of you guys get a job. You guys are no. This is a job. This is a business. It's a job. It's a community. It's a lot for a lot of you guys. So I appreciate you guys who can help. You do because you guys are our bosses. We don't have NBC as our bosses doing our salary. This is independent news, and we try to and a community. It's a news and a community. So thanks to everybody who's become Planeteers. Go Planet! Make sure you also become tribe leaders over on Steph the Alter Nerd. As we wind down, I want to make sure I plug you too, Steph. Steph the Alter Nerd. She's been doing so amazing. Go support her. You're gonna need to subscribe to both because she's gonna do recaps and things that you'll need to sort of have as we prepare for the next couple upcoming cases and stuff. So there she is, getting close. Oh my gosh, look, you're now next up 7,000 subscribers. We can get you there.
Yes, let's do baby steps. If I can get to 6,500, and then let's get to 7,000. But yeah, if any of you who have not subscribed, please jump over and subscribe, because yeah, there's going to be a lot more that's going to come on Steph the Alter Nerd that's going to interact with Andy's Popcorn Planet and vice versa. So you'll get the full experience, the full content of what we're offering. So yeah, don't miss out.
And so I saw him in the chat, the Lewis heads popping in the chats. Go make sure to support Nerd Report, my man Lewis over there. And you can hit this subscribe as he's getting closer to. He's almost at. Come on, can we get him 19,000 today? He's so close. Let's get Nerd Report over the. I mean, only if you like movie stuff, I guess, because then it doesn't help his channel if you don't like movies. But Nerd Report, he's almost there. I want to see him get to 20K so he can be excited. Nerd Report, my friends. Lewis and Steph, go support him. And then lastly, Hubbard. Did you guys watch that video? That's a perfect video to watch to make sure. Yeah, some of you did. Remember to go watch John Hubbard's video so he can get some watch time. Watch John's video as we do our final thing. It's there. And that's all we got for you. So there you go. This was the end portion of the stream. I guess it was a longer video. End portion of the stream to guys show you where we're at. Thank you guys so much for sticking through it. If you want to watch the full show, if you want to watch the full 6-hour stream, you can. It'll be up for a little while here, but then sometimes they process as I trim the show. And in order to see the whole replay, go hit join. Become a member today, and then you can watch all the replays if you missed them later in the evening, whenever. Pretend like you're watching it live. And if you ever want to see all of the videos, you can find them on our page. All you got to do is go to wait, what happened there? Go to our channel, Popcorn Planet, and then scroll down. You'll see there's a members only videos section. And usually they pop up there first. Sometimes I'll tell you sometimes in the community tab. You can go to the community tab as well to see alerts and things that are there. But the quickest way to find those videos, if you're like, I want to see the show, I missed it, where is it? It'll always be there pretty quickly because it automatically loads them all in there. So that's where you can find them. So there you go. Retired NYPD, thank you so much. And Root Dude, the true justice for Gabby is seeking the truth. Feel hate towards the Laundries, but don't let it take over the cause. Gabby should be a beacon of hope. Oh my goodness, well said. Kelly Hoyle and Urban, thank you. And Urban Fox became a member. So you know what? For all the members today, you've earned it. You did it. You activated status. So grateful to all you guys. Incredible stream. We did it. 6 hours. I think I made it. 6 hours. Holy moly. 4 minutes and we're there. 6-hour stream. This was just the end of it. If you want to watch the full 6-hour stream, become a member. If this got trimmed, you'll watch it all there. I'm trying to stay positive. This is sad news today. It's confusing news to me. I'm frustrated. We will be talking more about it tomorrow. I want to sleep on this and get some of your reactions. So tune in tomorrow, as I probably will be taking some calls so you guys can sleep on it as well and share your reactions tomorrow. Steph, does that sound like a plan? We'll let people call in and react to all this craziness tomorrow to get some more insight. Do you think that's a good idea?
Sounds like a plan. Yes.
That is the plan. Well, fantastic. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for more. We did it, and I couldn't do any of this without you. But stay tuned. Show some compassion. Be excellent to each other. We will still push for justice. We will still do the right thing. In fact, if you really want to help do the right thing, join us Thursday. Well, every day at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, but especially next Thursday because we'll be doing a lot of good. So I hope to see you guys there. And then we got one more member. Thank you so much. Skullem! Woo! Oh, my goodness. You guys are incredible. Well, thank you guys so much. Get some rest. I know this is incredibly hard news, but remember what the Dream expert said. Go watch it again. Plenty you can do to get this out of your mind. Focus on some positive. Save your energy up so we can all do good tomorrow and the next day and still keep it on the eye on the prize, which is figure out how did this happen, why. All that stuff can still be figured out together. So stay hopeful, even though this is sad, frustrating news, especially for the Laundries right now. They're hurting. Know that. Let's all realize that. Let's try to show that compassion and be kind to each other. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for more here on Popcorn Planet. Thank you, Steph. Thank you, Lewis. Thank you, John.
Later, everyone.
See you, everyone.